Hello.
Wait, was I second?
We gotta redo that.
Was I second? Wait, I thought I was last because I was starting off the next segment. Oh no!
That's all right. Tommy, if you want to keep this, you can.
Yeah.
Behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
that was funny.
Yeah.
Press Box Quartet Plus.
Bloopers, quartet bloopers.
Subscribe. Subscribe to our
Subscribe
like
to podcast. Do
OnlyFans
it now.
so we can
Do
get
it
money.
now.
Yeah.
Hello.
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 Hello and welcome to another episode of the Press Box Quartet podcast. It is so great to be with you all listening and watching here on Spotify. It's episode 3. We're back again for another week. I'm Joseph McLaughlin, Joe, as most people here call me. I'm with the most beautiful crew that we could ever be with, Jonah Boye, Colin Struckman, and Steve Callahan. Gentlemen, great to be with you here tonight.
It's a pleasure, Joe. It's unbelievable that we're back again for our 3rd episode. This has been nothing but a lot of fun for hopefully all you guys. I've been really enjoying getting together and just chatting and just talk about sports like we used to back in the dining hall days,
Oh, yes. Those conversations could go on forever, by the way. We
Oh,
just
my
talked about
goodness,
a bunch of
yeah.
things.
Those
Those
are
Buff
great.
Chick Wednesdays, man.
Oh,
The Buff Chick Wednesdays.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I miss them. I miss those days. Those were so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Great
love
lunch.
those days.
Fantastic.
For context, if those who didn't go to Franklin Pierce University don't know this, we had Buffalo chicken
75% of America.
Yeah, pretty much. We had Buffalo Chicken Wednesdays where you could just get buffalo chicken on everything, and it was great. So that was shout out to Franklin Pierce Dining Hall, who still does that to this day. So
Shout out to
amazing.
that.
I never really dabbled into the buffalo chicken. I always got the regular. Like,
Dude, remember when they brought grilled chicken always too? Grilled chicken was always the move.
I don't think. Yeah, I went to my bread and butter. I don't think I ever had that either.
Yeah.
I just went to the classic Caesar salad with the crispy chicken.
There you go.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think over time I kind of went with away from the buffalo chicken because it was just like too much breading for me, and then I just went to the grilled chicken with hot sauce on it, so it was kind of the same idea. But
I like
anyway,
that, Joe.
yeah,
Yeah.
that on a Caesar
Yeah, dude,
salad
the half
was
and half
really-
is perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with that. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Speaking of a lot of options with chicken at Franklin Pierce University's dining hall, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of things that happened in the past week since we last got into a conversation. I'm going to start briefly, though. One of the craziest things that we saw from the past weekend was UFC Freedom 250. In case you've been kind of living under a rock the past week and haven't watched the news, President Trump hosted a UFC fight card on the South Lawn titled UFC Freedom 250 in celebration not only Flag Day, his birthday, but also America's 250th birthday coming up in July. And it was a very stacked fight card, and a lot happened in this evening. It looked like there was going to be a little trouble because it was an outdoor venue, and a lot of thunderstorms were slated to be in the forecast. But once the fight card got started, there was a lot going on. 7 knockouts, guys. I don't think I've ever seen a UFC fight card that action-packed, but it was absolutely nuts from start to finish.
I mean, yeah, when you kind of look at that card from top to bottom, it is straight dogs. Like, everyone that's been in a title fight, been a champion, it was loaded. But, one fight that I kind of want to talk about more is Ciryl Gane versus Alex Pereira. Obviously, Alex Pereira, the light heavyweight champion, wanted to move up a division, so now he's fighting the heavyweight, which we saw on Sunday. So, he lost the title when he made the decision. But I don't think anyone really thought Pereira was going to win this fight. Obviously, in the heavyweight, it's a lot different. People hit harder. There's not much grappling going on. It's just straight punching. And Pereira, who's very mobile, kind of had an unfortunate matchup against Ciryl Gane. I think we all know Ciryl Gane could be champ at this point. Like, he's one of those top fighters in the heavyweight division. But with that fight, Gane got the knockout on Pereira in the second round. And now that kind of foreshadows to Tom Aspinall, who is the current champion for the heavyweight division. They're going to rematch in September in Paris. Now that that is established, I personally think Don's going to win that fight. Aspinall hasn't fought in a long time, and I would say Don has won the last fight that those had before Aspinall got poked in the eye back in October, and Aspinall hasn't seen the octagon since. So I think Cyril Gahn wins that one, but we got a long time and a lot of training before that fight happens.
Yeah, for sure. A lot. You mentioned the rematch in France. I'm very excited to see that. But for me, it was the lightweight championship at the end there. Gauthier getting the win after Topuria got absolutely wailed on in the face. His face was bloodied, and looking at the highlights of it like earlier today, I was just like blown away with like, wow, like I forgot how like actually intense the hits were, and he just kind of surrendered midway through the fight. So I think that was like a good way to end off the fight card for the night. But yeah, overall really good. But it was kind of like this once in a lifetime kind of thing. It seemed like what it looked like. I remember, afterwards the president of the UFC was just like, I don't know if we're gonna do this again, but yeah, like Jonah, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really cool event. Like, it's something that I don't think really has ever been done before, especially like in the fighting scene where quite literally they set up the octagon literally on the doorstep of the White House, like the United States Capitol, and it's just sitting right there, literally in the backyard. And I thought it was like pretty cool how they pulled it off. Obviously, they had the canopy and everything like that. It was really well put together in case there was the weather you mentioned was kind of rolling through in there. But I thought it was really unique, and I mean, it was really entertaining with 7 knockouts for all 7 fights. Was just I don't think Dana White could have really scripted that much better with how a lot of these fights went. And I know he's like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen again just because it was pretty pricey to pull off too. But I think overall, I think it was a success for UFC. And then also just kind of a good way to kind of kick off, the US 250th birthday coming up in July. So I think it was a really cool event overall for UFC and kind of overall just growing their product as well.
100%. You mentioned the price tag too. I think it was what, $60 million. I think is what it cost to put that together, which insane.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, it was up there.
yeah, shout out to Dana White getting that together, and I think UFC definitely grew from that. But yeah, it was kind of tough for me to like watch the full thing because there were a lot of other things happening too. It was a stacked weekend for sports, and that's going to segue us to the topics that we've talked about the past couple of episodes: the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final, both of which have concluded, and there are 2 new champions. We'll start on the court because that's where we've started before. The NBA has a new champion. It's the New York Knicks. For the first time in 53 years, New York is the champion of the NBA. And, I mean, it was another amazing game by the Knicks in Game 5. Jalen Brunson winning Finals MVP after getting 45 points in Game 5. Just an amazing performance. But again, it came off of the Spurs letting go of a lead. Colin, going to you. What is happening right now? Hi. Okay, sorry. That was just so random. Just an audio from a different tab just snuck into my headphones.
Oh, really?
Why? Like, what just happened?
It was funny when you were starting to go to Colin, like segues, like, Colin,
Like, an ad just started playing in my ears. I don't know what just happened. Like, it was an Adobe ad. I'm like, why? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't know where you're going with that.
I don't know. I was like so confused. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, right.
But anyway, to go to Colin, uninterrupted this time. What were your thoughts on that Game 5? Again, Knicks pulling out a big comeback against the Spurs to get the final win in that series.
I mean, that's just been the common theme of the series, Joe. Kind of like what we talked about, where the Spurs get off to a big lead. They play really well for maybe 2 or 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter it's kind of haunted them the entire series. And I look back at each game. Game 1 was a 14-point lead. Game 2 was a 12-point lead. Game 4 was the biggest, 29-point lead. Game 5 was a 16-point lead. And it felt like every time, even when the Knicks would be trailing by like 10 or 11 points, even 15, they had the Spurs right where they wanted them, which is kind of crazy to say, but they're just a better team when their backs were against the wall. And that wasn't necessarily the case for the whole postseason because, I mean, they bulldozed Philly, they bulldozed Cleveland. The Hawks they'd had a little bit of trouble with initially, and then they really kicked it into high gear. But the Spurs really had a nice job of starting games well. We saw that especially in Game 4 and even in Game 5 as well because the Knicks overall didn't play that great as a team. Just Jalen Brunson had a monster performance. But I really like the resilience from the Knicks in that whole series. Like I talked about, they almost get better when they face that double-digit deficit late in the ball game because they're just a veteran group that's been in this spot before, and they've had a couple of deep playoff runs together. And it takes a couple of playoff runs to really learn how you can grow from that. And I think this was the culmination of that and them winning the finals this year.
Yeah, for sure. Steve, I saw you shaking your head as we were talking about the Knicks. Give me your thoughts here.
Well, if you want my thoughts on it, I was hoping that 53 went to a 54. I wanted that streak to continue for the rest of my life. But I mean, it's kind of tough to say because when a team wins the finals and they were down 72% of the finals, it kind of just shows you like we talked about last episode. Is it more of a collapse or is it like more of a great comeback? And in my eyes, I think the Spurs let it slip away. Again, you're up all that much. You have the tallest player in NBA history. How do you not utilize him by the basket? And sure, maybe he's not physical, but this is a different league. If you go down low, the chances of you being sent to the free throw line, so high. It is so high. There's no reason why you shouldn't take your chances with right by the paint. But no, we just, again, just start to slip away. And now we're chucking up threes. And now you're just letting the game go. And the Knicks, who have been in high pressure moments like this before, they've been so close over these years, thanks to Trae Young and Giannis and Tyrese Halliburton, that they kind of haven't really had the chance to get over the hump. But, now they're in the driver's seat. They're no longer the ones who's like, escaping, looking for things to do and like get a lead now. But no, they took control of the game. And this is exactly what they wanted. So they got the Larry O'Brien at the end of the day. Still pains me. I'll get over it eventually. But, I mean, as of right now, yeah. I mean, good for the Knicks.
Yeah, the city of New York basically erupted in ways I've never seen before. I think that was kind of our expectation going into the series, regardless of the outcome. New York was just going to go crazy. So, most of us here are Boston fans. So obviously it's like, we don't really like New York, but I'll give them their flowers. 53 years, it's quite a long time. I know some New York friends of mine that are like they still cannot believe that it happened. But going back to the Spurs, I think we all agree that this seems like something that slipped out of the Spurs' fingers. They had a Larry O'Brien trophy on a silver platter, yet they somehow spilt it away. Now, I want to get you guys' thoughts on a couple of these questions. Really, who is to blame on the Spurs side of things? Will we see them recover from this? And then maybe a little bit more of a radical question. Should San Antonio make some changes, coaching, roster-wise? Should we see the same Spurs team that we did in this finals?
I mean, to think that they were the youngest group that was going into that playoff run, like, that's the trial by fire experience for them. Obviously, they made such a great run. They pretty much played, I would say, their NBA Finals against the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. That was a terrific series. It really wore them out. So it's kind of, it was semi-expected, I would say, that they kind of got to a slow start in the finals. But then, obviously, they were able to get one game in that series. But just the fact that they are so young, and that give flowers to the Knicks as well. They've made the playoffs for a number of years in a row. They've come up so short in the Eastern Conference Finals, the second round, and finally it's like that experience that they had was paying off, And just the Spurs, just being such a young team, that's going to happen with some young teams. There's obviously rare occasions where the younger team can prevail with the youth and the energy they have. But when you have an experienced team like the Knicks, where their average age is 30 years old, it's going to be tough to beat a team that knows how to win the playoffs. And like Colin said, just they have that grit factor where they're not afraid to be down and they can make that comeback. Like I remember I read that like Jalen Brunson had an interview during the half. He's like, yeah, we get we're down. Like it's obviously not where we want to be, but we just got to go to work. And rightfully so, they went to work and they come away with the Larry O'Brien, and that's a hard-earned Larry O'Brien trophy for the Knicks. And frankly, it's well-deserved. But going back to your initial question, though, I think the Spurs, they should be in a pretty good spot. I think they're obviously going to bring in, they got a pretty good draft pick this year too, but I think they'll be in a pretty good spot. And I think even for Wemby, this is a big learning moment for him. And also like Stephen Castle and even some of those younger guys, they have Dylan Harper. It's like these guys who are going to grow within this system that I think they'll be okay,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say you have to blow everything up after you went to the finals with a young team and you went up against an experienced veteran team in the Knicks. Going back to your point, Joe, of who's to blame, I mean, it's really hard to like put the blame on any specific person, but I do look at the head coach, Mitch Johnson, going back to game 4 where they have a 29-point lead and it vanishes. I mean, some of the decision making in that game with the reliance on the three-pointer up by that much was a little questionable. Another guy I'd put in there is De'Aaron Fox, and I think that contract is looking quite awful right now. He's going to be making about $55 million up until 2030, and for a guy that just put up a stinker in the finals and cost you game 4 by not dribbling the clock out and going for a layup that was blocked by OG Anunoby, that contract for De'Aaron Fox is not looking great right now, especially when you have already really good young guards in Castle and Harper, like Jonah talked about.
Steve, what are your thoughts?
I mean, kind of similar to Colin. Like, I mean, sure, is De'Aaron Fox like the easiest person to point a finger at in this situation? Yeah, I mean, if you look at his shooting percentage, he gave us tour dates. He went 3 for 14. He went 2 for 18. Like, he didn't really have the best shooting performance. And I know we touched upon it a little bit last episode, but you've been in the NBA for 9 years. 9 years. If there's one person on that floor who shouldn't be making those mistakes, it's probably the 9-year vet. But obviously, Mitch Johnson just got outcoached. He absolutely got outcoached. The Knicks making all the adjustments, and what's Mitch Johnson doing? Just kind of hoping that what he does works. And in the NBA, it's not going to work. You look at the next competition and like, Philly, for example, like Nick Nurse, he did a very good job of outcoaching Missoula in the first round. And now, the Knicks, who got past the Hawks in 6 games, had to wait for 7 for the Celtics and Philly. And now, they're kind of, studying the film room, seeing what they're doing. So they know what to do. Like, they know how to get the answers to the test. The Spurs kind of being in that spot for the first time, like, I don't think that's, I mean, obviously it's their first year, very young. It's going to take time for them to make those adjustments and see what works, get the confidence to do certain things. But to go back to your question, Joe, if I think the Spurs are going to be back, I don't know if they are. I don't know if they're going to be back. You look at all these players, right? Let's take Wemby, for example. His first finals run. Like, James Harden never went back. Russell Westbrook never went back. Luka Doncic never went back. Chris Paul never went back. Devin Booker never went back. It's going to be, Minnesota has been on the edge of those finals for a long time. And I guarantee you he's going to have his chance to get a ring. And, I mean, also the Nuggets. The Nuggets are going to have a chance to go back. As
The
long as
Thunder will
Jokic,
be back.
Thunder's going to be back. Exactly. Like, they won 7 games with the Spurs. The West is way better than the East. I think we can all agree on that. The West is way more unpredictable, and the Spurs, like, they had way more of a gauntlet for sure. Portland kind of gave you a little bit of trouble at the start, but I mean, you get past that series pretty easily. And the interesting part about this playoffs was I'm surprised the Spurs didn't throw the last game of the season, because if they throw the last game of the season, that seeding is totally different. Because now the Spurs had to go through Portland and Denver, then they had to go through the Thunder, and now you have the New York Knicks in the finals. Like, that is not an easy path at all. That is a tough path. So they probably gassed. I mean, sure, they went 5 to 6 games in all series. So it's definitely, there's a lot of factors that play into it. But I think it is going to be tough for Wemby to get back there. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, we've seen how good Wemby is. Dylan Harper's only going to get better. Stephon Castle has shown his two-way ability in the league. Like, they have the roster to do it. I just don't know if they can do what they did again.
Those are really good points. And you mentioned the Western Conference is just such a gauntlet. So it'll really be interesting to see what happens in the offseason with the Spurs and kind of how they approach next season, especially with what could have been a blown opportunity. But
Shout out Mike Brown.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But this year it was the Knicks' turn to finally break their curse and end their drought. And speaking of ending some droughts, the NHL, Carolina ended their drought. 20 years they had to wait for another Stanley Cup championship, but they finally did it on Sunday. They defeated the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 6, 3-0. An absolute masterclass of a performance from start to finish. And they capture their first Stanley Cup championship since 2006, when their head coach Rod Brind'Amour was the captain, and he hoisted the cup. He got to do it again, shirtless a couple times as well in the locker room. Rod the Bod was back.
Rod the Bod.
So it was a big night for the Hurricanes. Also, Jordan Staal winning the Conn Smythe, not Mitch Marner, like my initial prediction was, but Staal deserved it for sure. 17 years he had to wait, too, between his Cup championship with the Penguins in 2009. But yeah, what a fabulous series that was, and a good performance from Carolina. But really, I just want to ask you guys, what impressed you most about the Carolina Hurricanes, maybe specifically Staal, why he won the Conn Smythe, but what impressed you guys about Carolina that, to you guys was evident why they got that series won in 6 games?
Yeah, I think Joe, for me, is just... Go ahead, Jonah. All you.
I mean, it sounded like you got some right off the go, so I'll let you go with that, man.
I think, Joe, kind of what you were talking about was the culmination of just the depth that they have, and kind of what we talked about before, I think on our first episode, was that they don't have a superstar necessarily. They have some very good players like Aho, Jarvis, Slavin, Svechnikov. You can go down the line, but what's really cost them, it feels like in years past, has been they don't have that pure goal scorer to really get them over the top when they play Florida, who has really been in their way the last couple of years in the Eastern Conference Final. But I thought they got really good production from all 4 lines. All their D pairs were amazing. Freddie Anderson got them there, and then he unfortunately got hurt, and he was benched back in Game 3, and Brandon Bussie came in. That was the turning point in the series, which I'm sure we'll get to more later when we talk about this Cup final. But I thought, especially what Carolina did in the final game in Game 6 was what they've done all year. And that's been their calling card ever since Rod Brind'Amour has been at the helm. Is just defensive structure, blocking shots, killing penalties, really just putting your body on the line for the team. And that's really what the Hurricanes are all about. They grind you down, they wear you out. And Vegas just, I thought, ran out of gas after Game 3. And they did not look like the same team after those first 3 games of the series.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you mentioned, Colin, with like the turning point when Bussie kind of took over. Even though when he took over, they lost that game, but it really felt like the momentum shift was much in Carolina's favor because, I mean, tip the cap to Bussie. Like, he came off the bench, didn't play at all in the postseason till that point. He gets eventually the last 3 starts in the Stanley Cup final, and he balled out. He made some terrific saves, big stops, one-on-one chances. Like, he was the heartbeat for Carolina, I thought. in the end stretch of that series. And rightfully so. I was even thinking, like, imagine if they gave the Conn Smythe to him. I was even thinking that in the back of my head as like maybe a little wild card, but rightfully so. Staal, he played unbelievable. And like Colin said, they have a good collection of good players, but didn't have that one goal scorer. And then Staal really stepped up and he scored in big time moments when they needed to. And quite frankly, it's awesome. He gets to lift a second Stanley Cup after such a long 17-year drought, then gets the Conn Smythe. But like you said, Colin, as well, like Rod Brind'Amour, like just the coaching philosophy that he brought in and really made his team so defensively good. I remember in the final game in Game 6, there was not a single pass that felt like that was going into the slot that Vegas made that wasn't going to a Vegas stick. It was always a Carolina stick that was touching the puck or the body. It was literally they could not get anything in front of the net, and if so, Bussy was there to stop it. So I think ultimately it was really a Carolina masterclass from the moment Bussy kind of took over as well.
Yeah, really good points there. Colin, I think you were the one that mentioned right away, like, Bussy, look out for this guy, because this was the moment the series shifted, and I'm going to get to him in just a moment. But, Steve, what were your thoughts on that Game 6, the ending of that series?
Oh, I mean, pretty much kind of the same what everyone else has said. Like Carolina, one thing that they've done all series was just find the back of the net early. Vegas had to trail majority of that series. I mean, in Vegas has showed that throughout the entire playoffs that when they are down, they can find the way back up. But Carolina was just so just swarming. Every Golden Knight that had the puck, I swear there was 2 red jerseys already there, ready to get it away from him. But Brandon Bussy just having a shutout on Game 6, that's gonna fire your team up. It's like, all right, this guy's playing out of his mind. We need to match him. So what do? Taylor Hall just instantly finds the back of the net. And it was just like, all right, that's a good start for Carolina. But, it was a great team chemistry that Carolina played in that Game 6. It was unreal.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And you mentioned Taylor Hall. He had a fantastic playoffs, too. He could have easily gotten the Conn Smythe, in my opinion, as well. But
Thought he was.
Yeah,
I for sure thought he was.
Yeah, he could have really went to anybody on that Hurricanes roster. But Staal, I think I think it was like 5 consecutive games in the finals that he had a goal, and he won at least 55% of the draws that he had in the face-off circle. So
he was nails in the circle. It seemed like anytime Carolina was if Vegas was making a good push and Carolina was in their own zone, it seemed like every single time that I saw Staal in the circle, he won every face-off. Like, I remember Colin and I, when we were calling Franklin Pierce men's ice hockey a couple years ago, it was always Cooper Anderson. He was the guy to get you a big face-off, and that's exactly kind of what, in some situations, you just needed to win a big face-off, and Staal, he did that, and he was just unbelievable, and I believe he was the oldest Conn Smythe winner, correct?
I believe so.
Which is also a huge historical thing, too. So, really, you just got to keep giving your flowers to Staal and how much he really meant to this team in this playoff run as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of historical stuff. I saw a stat on ESPN, and I mean, I don't know how they track this, but I forget the guy's last name, but they're like, this is the first ever Stanley Cup winner with a guy named Jackson. And it was like, really?
Oh, Jackson Blake.
He had a good playoff,
too.
Yeah,
you're right. It's like
he could have won the
Blake.
Conn Smythe as well.
He could. You're right.
Could have won the Conn Smythe.
He could have. I mean, there's a lot of people on that team I could have. I can't believe I forgot his name. I'm such a chud. that was so good.
Well, I mean, that just goes to our point, though. Like, they're just overall a good, well-rounded team. There's not really one star that sticks out. Like, literally, on the Conn Smythe voting, I bet they were all like, really him, but he has a good case. He has a good case. He has a really good case. So, but I think overall, Staal was probably the most deserving of that. But I think it would have been nice if Brand Bussy kind of won that one too, just for what he did and really shifted the momentum of that playoff push.
I think it's just hard to give it to him based off. I mean, it's what he did was amazing, but it was a small sample size, just a few starts. Obviously 3-0, and then only letting up that one goal in Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to go back to kind of the point, Jonah, you're making about just how, or no, it was Steve. Sorry, about how Vegas just couldn't complete any passes, maybe get a lot of clean shots. Vegas didn't have any shots on goal for the last 16 minutes of that second period in Game 6.
True.
Yeah.
And they had 2 shots in about 30 minutes of play overall leading into the third period. They could not do anything offensively. No. They looked lost. The only time they really woke up was toward the end of the game. And that was all desperation when the goalie was pulled. So, yeah. I mean, they had the extra man out there, and that was, you got to try and get one. But Bussy made some unreal stops like he did the last several games. So that momentum shift was the biggest in the series, and I still go back to Game 3 as the turning point. Even though Carolina lost, they came back from a 4-goal deficit, and the goal that they let up in double overtime was an own goal. So the fight they showed in Game 3, it really turned the tide in their favor in the series, and they never looked back from there.
100% agree. And I'll ask one more question about this topic before we move on to the World Cup. With Bussy, since we're giving him his flowers right now with how well he did in those 3 games, what do you guys think of, should he be the starting goaltender Game 1 of next season for Carolina, or should it be Freddie Anderson?
I mean, it is a really good question just because, I mean, Anderson throughout most of the postseason was really good, but then just kind of lost the rails in that Game 3, and I believe Colin, you mentioned, was dealing with a little bit of an injury too, so that kind of delayed him a little bit. It wasn't 100%, but obviously hockey players, they're trying to push to do their best and stay in the games because it means so much to them. But I think you definitely got to consider the weight of what Bussy did. I mean, he had a really good regular season too, didn't play until that Game 3 in the Stanley Cup final, so it's definitely an interesting situation for Carolina. I think you still would probably want to stick with Anderson. I think he's still really good, but I mean, you definitely want to hold on to Bussy, I think, now after what he did. So I think it could be really, to me, really, it's just a coin toss. That's my thought, so it could really go either way.
I mean, it would make sense for him to start the first game of the year, but I think Freddie Anderson, he's been in the league for 13 years now. He's used to having a lot of starts. I feel like he's still going to be the guy. It depends on how bad the injury is and if he's able to recover in the offseason. But I do want to say, like, I'm so glad that he finally got his cup. I mean, 13 years he's been in the league with Anaheim, Toronto, Carolina. He's come so close so many times. He's had some brutal playoff losses, going all the way back to his days with Anaheim, especially in Toronto, where the Bruins have always had the Leafs number, and then in Carolina, where they just always fell short to Florida, or they were an early exit in the postseason. So he's gone through the ringer, and for him to lead his team all the way there, he eventually gets hurt, Bussy steps in, but those two netminders, they just had each other's backs the entire way, and that was the sentiment from Bussy in the post-game interview after they won the Cup. So really happy to see Freddie Anderson finally get one of many. Him and Taylor Hall, too. 19 years in the league. He's been with 7 different teams. So a lot of those kind of almost journeymen now, it feels like, in the league that have been superstars at one point in their career, still producing at a high level, are able to do it for Carolina and lift Lord Stanley.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I don't think you don't get rid of either of them, obviously, because, like, Frederick, it's kind of like passing the torch, It's like, all right, this is going to be Bussy's team one day, but obviously you can't get rid of Anderson because, like, why would you do that? But I think you keep both of them, but I wouldn't be surprised if either of them were starting Game 1, honestly. Like, I could see it going both ways. But I would say, like, if it is Anderson's, like, going into his 14th year next year, then, sure, let him start Game 1 because, you never know when he's going to hang it up,
He's 36 now. I don't know how much left he has in the tank. Maybe probably give him at least 2 more years, but
exactly,
it really depends.
Because obviously Bussy still has a lot to learn too. Because, like, even though he was the savior for the Panthers, I'm thinking of football, for the Hurricanes, he still has a lot to learn. It's going to be a good mentee kind of relationship going on over there in Carolina. So I would say you probably give it to Anderson, but I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Bussy.
Yeah, and even going to Colin's point too with his injury too, if it's super severe where it might impact if he does be able to be healthy for the first game of the year, or if it's going to be, you know, something minor that he can easily come back from, or it could be super severe where it could be the point where he might not be the same player, and that's where Bussy can kind of take the reins. So
They also have Kochetkov too, as a third string goalie that's played pretty well when he's gotten in there. So they got a lot of options
That is
next
true.
season in that.
mm-hmm.
That's very true. Great point. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens with that. I thought that was just a fun little question because there's definitely going to be a talking point in Raleigh for the next 6 months until the season starts again. But yeah, I think both goaltenders definitely should be credited. I've loved seeing Bussy give Anderson the credit that he deserved to get them to that point. And just you could just see nothing but love from him for that, and just congratulations to the both of them on a amazing playoff run to get to Lord Stanley. So a great job from them. But now we go to the World Cup. The current trend everywhere across North America, it has been in full swing, and I don't know about you guys, but I have been loving this World Cup. I don't know if it's because I'm actually like watching it more than I have in World Cups past, but or it could be just because it's in our backyard and we're actually interacting with the people that are coming across overseas. But it's been unbelievable. Team USA, too. We talked about this in episode 2, that this could be the best Team USA we've ever seen, and it really looked like that in their first game against Paraguay. 4-1 was the score, 3 goals in the first half, and it was just absolutely insane. What was it? Folarin Balogun scored twice in that first half. He looked fantastic. But I'm excited to see what the U.S. does against Australia coming up. As we're recording this, it's Wednesday, so that it's on Friday. So by the time this episode comes out, that match probably will have concluded. But very intrigued to see what happens there. And also Scotland. You can't really ignore that with all the Scots being in Boston.
They're taking over the city. It's been
It's
remarkable.
They were spotted in New York last night too, which I thought was really funny too.
Oh yeah,
They got more reinforcements on the way. They play at Gillette on Friday, and I keep seeing on Twitter that they're still coming over. Like there's fresh legs coming to drink the city dry again. So we're gonna see how that plays out.
That's so. Did you guys see those posts about they drank all the beer in like certain pubs? They were out of all their beer.
Yeah.
Like
the Sam Adams Tap House ran out of beer.
Dude, those guys are animals, man.
That
Those
doesn't
guys are
just
animals.
happen.
no, it doesn't.
happen.
Just get a bunch of Scots together and they can drink the place dry in a few hours, I guess.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Like, that's
Absolutely.
honestly.
But I have loved every second of seeing the Scottish here. I actually got to go to the Red Sox game last night on Tuesday against the Blue Jays. Unfortunately, the Red Sox did not win. As a Red Sox fan, it was kind of painful to watch the game, but it was so fun to watch the Scots that were there. Now, granted, this wasn't Scottish Heritage Night that happened on Sunday, where they just kept singing the Proclaimers for hours. But, you know, it was just really cool to see the vibe from them. And, you know, it's just unbelievable. A friend of mine that lives in Glasgow is like, it's unbelievable. Like, we're, you know, in the World Cup for the first time in forever. And it's just really the vibe that they're bringing, such a fun, refreshing thing. And people keep saying, at least people living in Boston, this is like the most fun we've ever had in the city, ever. Like, these people are amazing. They're so fun. And I'm just so happy that we get to have them again on Friday against Morocco. It should be a really good match because Morocco drew against Brazil, which a lot of Brazilian fans were disappointed in that. But we could talk about so many different matches, but I'm going to give you guys the floor here. What was a match that really kind of, you know, caught your eye, or something that really impressed you from this opening weekend of the World Cup?
Joe, I think we got to start with Cape Verde against Spain.
Yes.
Just one of the most shocking games in World Cup history, I would say. I mean, no one thought they had a chance at all to compete against Spain, who's top 5 in the world, one of the top favorites to win. I mean, top to bottom have the favorite, top to bottom have a top 3 roster in the world. I mean, it's a who's who of their team. And Cape Verde, here's this small team that just is able to park the bus and hold on for dear life for 90 minutes and more. And their goalkeeper was outstanding. He was an overnight sensation. I think he made 7 or 8 saves in net against Spain, but definitely a shocking result. I think that was the one that caught my eye the most because, I mean, who would have thought they would have a fighting chance against Spain?
Yeah, Vazina, I think, had 7 saves, I think, was it? Yeah, 7 saves, and all of them were, like, big shots. But, Jonah, yeah, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, and I mean, especially at 40 years old, too, making his World Cup debut against, like we said, probably arguably the top side in this World Cup, and it was just unbelievable performance to really see that. And, you know, for Spain, I mean, I think they're okay, you know, obviously it's the first match in their group play, so I think they'll be okay. I know Yamin Lamal, he didn't really play much in that game, so I think that in going forward, he's probably going to be more of a centerpiece that they're going to need to utilize a little bit more. But for me, really, I thought one of the better games that personally I watched was the Netherlands versus Japan. That was a very, very exciting game, especially with Japan later on, almost in stoppage time. They get that header and they equalize 2-2. And for me, the Netherlands, they've been a really team that's been on the cusp of winning the World Cup the past few tournaments. And they knocked out the U.S. last year. They had a really good team. They still have a lot of experienced veterans. But, you know, Japan is a country that I think could be a real pesky team in Group F, even with Sweden being in that group, who they beat Tanzania. But, I mean, I think Japan, they might have something brewing that could be really a dark horse favorite to possibly win the World Cup. I know it's a long shot for them because you don't really think of, you know, these Asian countries possibly as really good, but like they've showed up at the previous World Cups. They've always been pretty solid, and I think really their 2-2 draw against the Netherlands really kind of showcases that they are kind of ready to take the next step forward.
So I'm gonna mention I was in Cape Cod this past weekend. All right, so I didn't really get to watch much soccer of the World Cup, but the one game I did get to watch was the Turkey game against Austria, which had a midnight kickoff, which I had no idea they even did that for the World Cup. Because I'm it's like late at night, I'm sitting there, we're all just chatting, and then one of my buddies who's a big Brazilian fan because he's from Brazil, he just kind of wakes up off the couch and he's like, "Oh, there's a kickoff right now," and he's just starting to watch it. We're like, "What do you mean there's a kickoff? It is midnight." And he was like, "Yeah, they're playing Canada right now." So we're like, "All right, yeah, I guess we'll watch it." But so our last episode, I did say Turkey would be the one in the United States group to give us trouble. But Turkey didn't look as powerful as I thought they would. No, they went down 2-0 pretty easily. So either Turkey just kind of needs to gather and find themselves again, or Austria is like that. I don't know which one it is, but I guess time will tell.
Could have been the midnight kickoff too. You never know.
It could have been. I mean, let me tell you, that caught me so off guard. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, there's a soccer game."
Man. Everybody's got to watch. You know, I think Turkey would have been probably 7 hours ahead, so probably would have been.
Yeah,
for
we did say the
Australia,
translation for
it's
it
the next day anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
But
I do think that could bode well for the U.S. Kind of like Steve was saying, where we expected Turkey to be the top team out of the group, and then the U.S. just has a phenomenal display last week against Paraguay. 4-1. It was the most goals they ever scored in a World Cup match. I thought that was the best they ever played. At least from what I've seen in my lifetime, that was the best the U.S. men's national team has ever looked in the biggest stage. And you have Balogun, who we talked about. He's just a pure goal scorer, a superstar. So glad that he chose to join the U.S. because I know he had some options, I believe, with the English team and the Nigerian team. So I remember when we got him, and that was a massive day for U.S. soccer, and it's proving to be huge for this team. And then Pulisic is just, that was clinical against Paraguay. Just a great playmaker, a great setup man. I think he's really turned into what we expected from Captain America. I think they're just going to keep surprising us. Like Steve talked about, Turkey may not be as dominant as we expected. and Australia. They're kind of in the middle, I would say, of the group in terms of U.S., Turkey, Paraguay. I think the U.S. has a good chance to beat Australia and maybe even beat Turkey as well. It's hard to go 3-0 in group play, but based on the few results we've seen, I think the U.S. could make it happen. And the home field advantage at SoFi was noticeable in that first game, so I think they're going to bring it to Seattle against Australia on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with you, Colin. Just like I felt like that was the most complete game that I think I've ever, as well, in my lifetime, I've seen them play. I think you got to really tip your cap to, obviously, the head coach, Pochettino. He's done a terrific job kind of manufacturing this squad and kind of building it into a side that plays a lot of tiki-taka, more sort of European-style soccer, where when they're on the attack, they play with three backs and they have the wingers and also the left and right back playing some more support role up in offense. And then when they drop back and play defense, they're suffocating on the ball. They don't want you to get touches, and they play almost a five-back system with those backs kind of drawing back. And I really think they're a really solid group defensively, too. I thought Richards played really well as a star center back. Even in the midfield, Adams and McKennie, he was awesome. And then even Dest, I know he had some questionable crosses during that game, but he's still an offensive-minded defender, and I think he can also play really well in the wing, too. But like you said, Colin, also Pulisic, he was unbelievable creating chances. I remember the one possession he had where he split two defenders and created a high-grade chance in the box. It was unbelievable to see, just how well-rounded of a player he really is. And I know he got subbed off early because they were nursing a little bit of that injury he had with his calf, even though I think it's going to be, it was just a rest scenario. I think he's going to be good for Australia as well. And I'm really excited to watch that game because Australia, too, they've been a really good side in the last few tournaments, too. I mean, I believe it was a couple tournaments ago they played France on their way to the World Cup, and Australia played pretty good. And even the last 2022 World Cup, they were really good, too. They were kind of an underrated side, but I'm really excited to see kind of what this USA team can do, especially after their big 4-1 win over Paraguay.
Sure. Steve, what do you got? Last thoughts on this?
I mean, you know me with soccer, Joe. Full of words. No, I watched a little bit of Brazil and Morocco because obviously, as mentioned earlier, the Brazilian fan of mine. But he actually did think he did call it. He did say it was going to be a draw, which I would like. To me, for someone who doesn't really know soccer, like I always think Brazil is like always in the top conversations, but they're really not. Or at least in recent history, they haven't been.
Morocco's no slouch either. I mean,
No,
yeah. So what are they?
really
10th? You said I think they were. Is like Brazil is like
they
6th
were
and Morocco's
pretty close to each other in the FIFA rankings. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I think it's going to be a draw. And I think was Morocco scored first, I believe it was, and then Brazil followed up a little later. And, and that was about
Jr.,
it.
He finally kind of broke his World Cup spell for goals, and he's kind of going to be the guy they really want to lean on because Neymar, he's still dealing with some injuries, which is really unfortunate because he's such a talented player too. But like Colin said, Morocco, they're like a really underrated but also really strong team. Even in the last World Cup, they made it to the final 8, I believe. They were in the contention to make it to the World Cup final.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be really interesting to me. You mentioned Morocco is no slouch at all. I think that's going to be probably the biggest test for this Scottish team. They were very fortunate to get that win against Haiti, which, in my opinion, I think Haiti outplayed them a lot of that game. They were a faster team. They really tested their defense, but if it wasn't for Super John McGinn, I don't know if Scotland would win that one, but Scotland got it. I think they're going to have a real big test with Morocco. They look really solid, but if Scotland can somehow win that, I think they win that group for sure, which I think, I don't know, all the Scots in Boston might drink every single bar room dry for so long if that happens. So we'll see. They're also playing Friday, I think, right after the U.S. game against Australia, so that'll be really cool to see by the time this comes out. Both of those games, unfortunately, will be over, but hopefully they were good. So future person that's listening to this. I hope this is two good matches that we're talking about here. But anyway, now it's time for the games.
How you doing? What'd you say? Let's make it fun.
So I want to continue with I know the games.
My favorite part.
I wanted to kind of continue just because it's been fun the past couple episodes. We're going to do Weddle again, but I wanted to do a couple of other leagues because I know Jonah introduced the MLB last time. But I want to kind of do one for each of the topics that we've talked about today, at least the three main ones. So we're going to start with the NBA, something easy. Then we're going to go to the NHL with something a little harder, and then really going to test you guys' brains, see if you can get the World Cup player.
Oh God, I'm cooked.
If it comes to it, I will give you some hints to help narrow it down. So we're not here for 20 years. I know I'm the guy that says that, guys. I know. Episode 1. But anyway, without further ado, I'll give you a scoring update too. Very close game here, but Colin is ahead in first place by 1 point. Jonah and Steve, you guys are tied in second.
Ooh.
So close.
Nice.
Here. Going into the
Good
games.
looks, Steve. Good looks.
Yeah, so I'm the only one that we're only tied because I was the only one who yapped about UFC.
Hey, I had my input.
True. You're right.
I am the judge, and I've gotten points on good points that have been made. So, anyway, going from there, I'm going to start with Jonah, who's kind of started the discussions here. So we're going to go with the NBA to start. Whenever you're ready, give me a player.
Now, this is where it can get pretty interesting. I'm just going to go off with like a really big name player. Just try to feel the waters right now to see where we're at. We're going to go LeBron James just for fun.
Okay, LeBron James is the wrong
LeBron
conference.
LeBron James.
The wrong conference, the wrong division, the wrong team, the wrong position.
Divisions for basketball? I got no idea.
When you said divisions, you lost me. But then
you don't need to know a division. It's the wrong
All right,
conference.
we'll get rid of
but also
Wrong
position
conference.
2 is an interesting one too, because technically,
Yeah, Bron
I
can
don't-
technically play 1 through 5, depending on what the formation is.
Well,
But
his
that's
primary position is what I'm.
I think. Well, I'm assuming he's talking about forward, so he's not a forward.
Yeah. Okay.
So wrong position, and I believe his number is 23. I'm not gonna.
You believe his number's 23?
Yes, it should be number 23.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Should be. I'm
This
not
guy got Christian
confident
Yelich off the get-go. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Look,
Dude, I gotta
had to
get
double
these ones
check.
right, man.
I wanted a fact check. There's nothing wrong with fact checking.
No, never.
Pretty sure that was the case. So yes, he is number 23. My number of players higher than 23.
Ooh.
Dude, I need to get these right because I am so screwed for the World Cup player.
Okay, calling to you.
I was gonna go with the lower number, but I guess I gotta change that now. Higher number.
No, you still can. You still can.
No, I could.
If you want
Yeah,
to.
Yeah,
you're good.
If I really wanted to.
Yeah, no one's forcing you.
Man, I'm just not much of a NBA fan, but
Fair enough.
let's see.
I said this one's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
I have to get this one. If I don't, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
This one's tailor-made for you, Steve.
Dude,
LeBron
it really
is
is.
what? LeBron is was he power forward technically?
Yes,
Small
power
forward.
Okay.
Power
Yeah.
forward. Okay.
Primary
Yeah.
position of the power forward.
Primary.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I feel like I just have to go with a Celtic at this point to get one off the board. So I'm just gonna go with Keita just to give maybe an idea of where we're at.
Okay, let's see. So he is in the correct conference.
Yep.
We're gonna just ixnay the division because that's just kind of stupid. Wrong team, wrong position, and my player's number
Okay.
is lower than 88.
Yeah. All right. I think you picked a guard. You said it was higher than 23, lower than 88. So that gives me almost every number in the numerical. Man, this is tough.
88 through 23.
I don't think you did a Knicks player. So So it's higher than 23. Who's a guard that wears higher than 23? Or maybe it's not a guard. I don't know.
Ooh, I might have an idea of who it could be. But
This is a tough one. I ain't gonna.
I don't
I'm just,
know.
I'm just gonna say Donovan Mitchell.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct.
Let's go.
Beautiful. Donovan Mitchell, number 45.
I was like, I knew it wasn't a Knick.
Shooting guard for
so
the Cleveland Cavaliers. Very
he's
good,
the only
Steve.
guard I know that has a higher number.
Very
Than,
good.
Is,
well,
um,
at least off the top of my head. I
Is
needed
Mikal
that so
Bridges
bad.
is Mikal Bridges number 25 or am I
He is,
mistaken?
but he's a forward.
He's a full. Okay, I
Because
wasn't
Josh
sure.
Hart's the shooting guard, and then it's Brunson, Josh, and then Mikal
Yeah,
Bridges.
my ball knowledge is off.
I mean, you're right. He was 25. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Crazy
like
thing.
thinking numbers wise, but I couldn't remember if he was a guard or forward.
I needed that so
Good,
bad.
good pull, Steve. It's funny. I have the Utah Donovan Mitchell jersey in my closet. so-
Honestly, I remember that.
There you go.
The little the creamsicle looking.
yeah, the
or
Utah
sunset
sunset. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a
jerseys.
clean jersey.
Very nice. But good
Yeah.
job, Steve. I'm giving you
Thank you.
3 points for that one. Very nice.
Let's
very
go.
good. So you are currently in the lead right now.
3 points for the good guys. Let's go.
I think I gotta check ESPN real quick. My dad just erupted upstairs. So, Ghana.
Gone.
In case you're wondering,
is
Ghana
a-
just scored in the 94th minute.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Who'd they beat?
Panama.
Panama.
Oh.
Who scored that? That might be Joe's player. Who scored it?
Don't say it. Don't say it. it's totally my player.
Probably butchering the name, but Urin.
Yeah, it's like a
Key.
Uriki.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shoot, you weren't supposed to say
Go
that.
Black Stars though. Let's go Ghana.
Nice.
They trained at Bryant, so I had to root for him a little bit.
there
You know?
you go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's right.
Rhode Island connection
It's
there.
the it's the Smithfield Magic. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
that's
They
the
won that game.
Smithfield.
Little Ruben Resendez magic was.
Yeah. They went to Laura's Bar and Grill before. That's what they
Yeah.
won.
The Mecca. They
awesome.
went to the Mecca.
Yeah, the Mecca.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Good job, Steve, getting the NBA.
Thank you.
one.
Yeah.
We're going to the NHL. That was the Stanley Cup kind of aspect of it. So we're going to have another player. Steve, since you got it right, I'm going to give you first crack at this, followed by Jonah and then
Ooh.
Colin. So,
So much press. All right. So all right. So what are we getting here? Is it not same thing? Number, position, conference?
yeah,
Is that
I'm
pretty
gonna
much?
say- well,
Okay.
there are divisions, but we could just
There
get rid
are,
of that.
yeah.
There
Yeah,
are.
screw
There's
that.
only 4 divisions.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
yeah, I'll keep the divisions because there's only 4. But
I don't want to give too much info out on the first one, so I'm gonna pick kind of a weird one. Because I feel like number. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like number tells a lot. At least for me. But I'm just gonna say Brady to Chuck.
Brady Kachuk. Okay.
Oh, dude, I was
let's
low-key
see.
gonna say him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brady Kachuk is the correct conference.
Oh,
Okay.
I think I said correct answer. I was like, whoa.
No, is the correct
Ah.
division because I think Ottawa is in the Atlantic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that is the wrong team. Let's see. I believe it's the right position too.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say that's the right position.
So how nitty gritty are we getting with the position? Like left wing, right wing,
Just forward.
center, or just forward?
I would say pretty nitty gritty. Yeah.
Okay. So right
Very
position.
nitty gritty.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm just going off of he's labeled as a left winger.
Okay.
If that says anything. So, right conference, right division, wrong team, right position, and my player's number is higher than 7.
Ooh.
Alrighty. So, okay. Now, I get some of the Metro and the Atlantic teams mixed up a little bit sometimes, so this might be a little bit.
Yeah,
of
no,
an
this
interesting
is tough.
Because low key, my thought was gonna go to Brady Kachuk. I was really gonna say that. I thought that would have been super funny, but you know what? For funsies, let's go with his brother, Brady Kachuk, or Matthew.
Nope.
Sorry, Matthew.
I was gonna say.
I was like, wait,
He's
yeah.
got a
Matt,
twin?
let's
I
go,
didn't know
let's go
that.
Matthew. Let's go Matthew Kachuk.
Junior. No.
Brady Kachuk squared.
Yeah,
Brady,
yeah.
Brady loves himself so much he sees himself twice.
Okay.
It's one of those goofy
Let's
memes.
see.
That's funny.
Hold on 1 second. So, my player is not Matthew Kachuk, but it is the right conference, the right division, the wrong team, right position. My player's number is higher than 19.
Okay.
Okay. Trying to think of where we're at here. So that crosses off 2 teams off the list right there.
So far, we've learned it's not a
bit.
T'Chuk.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
It's
no
not
a
a
more.
Senator
There's
or
no
a
T'Chuk.
Panther either.
It's not Brady. It's not Brady. And
His
it's not
dad is
Matthew.
retired, so, yeah.
Right.
It's not his dad, obviously. Okay. So we got higher than 7 and 19. Let's go with, I think he's a left winger, but I'll go with William Nylander.
William Nylander.
That's a good one.
Let's see. Is he number 88, right? Is that the case?
Yeah.
I think so. Let's see. Okay. Right conference, right division, wrong team. If he's the winger, that's right position, and his number is lower than 88. I'm just going to double check Nylander's position. Yeah, he's a winger, so. So yeah, lower than 88, wrong team.
So it's 19 and 88. You said it was lower than 88?
Yep.
Oh,
Higher than
boy.
19, lower than 88.
Let's see. I gotta remember what teams are in that division. Like,
I know.
it's so.
I'm like
It's-
thinking
it's
of a
so
player,
weird.
but I don't know if it's in the Metro. That's the only problem because I keep getting them mixed up.
Yeah.
So, I guess for reference, for the Metropolitan Division, Carolina, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Washington, Columbus, both New York teams, and New Jersey. Those are the
Oh,
Metropolitan
okay.
teams.
So the team I'm thinking of is.
And if it's in the
division.
Atlantic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, brother. I'm gonna have a Joe moment here, dude. I'm just gonna be sitting here for 10 minutes. Oh my god, who's in the Atlantic, dude?
I can give you a couple hints. If
I'm like dog. I'm like thinking of a Maple Leafs player for some reason.
it's not on the Maple Leafs.
It's not. No. Oh, brother.
Although I'm worried
This
if
one's
my
a little
player's
tougher. This one is.
Yeah, no, this is.
I'm worried if my player is a center. So, but I kind of have an idea maybe.
Yeah, because it's not both New York teams. Great. That's fantastic. Oh my god. I'm so bad with hockey divisions. It's insane.
So I could give you the teams that are on the list that could.
Yeah, let's speed this up. Yeah.
Yeah. So your
My brain's been through a lot.
Your options are Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Montreal, Boston, Detroit, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's it, yeah.
yeah. Because obviously I don't think Boston, you would have picked the Bruin. That's too easy. Or obvious, I should say.
Or did
So, no, don't do this. Not again. No. Yeah, his number is 88, isn't it? Yeah, I know it's not Patrick Kane, but I'm just gonna go with Patrick Kane just because why not? Not give you guys the number info.
Patrick Kane is number 88.
Yeah.
Right conference, right division, wrong team, right position, lower than
Gotcha.
88.
Yeah. So I am blanking so hard.
Not on the Red Wings.
No.
Alrighty. Before the 88, I was thinking it could have been maybe Kucherov, but now that I know, I remember they're in this division now, I kind of want to think that it might be, and my guess is going to be Cole Caulfield.
Cole Caulfield. Let me just double check his.
But I can't remember if he's a center or a winger.
Let me see. Okay. Right conference, right division, right team, slightly wrong position. I'll
Oh,
explain that in a second.
no.
And his number is higher than. Is he 13?
13?
Yeah.
He's 13,
Oh,
yeah.
right, he's number 13 too. Balls. I just gave that one to Colin, probably, no.
Okay, Montreal. team that I hate. I gotta think about who's on there.
Yeah, you would go to the Canadians.
I'm gonna go with this guy because he jumped off the page just because he scored 2 massive goals in the playoffs. So I'll go with Alex Newhook.
It is not Alex Newhook.
What's the number?
Alex Newhook. Hold on, let me get his number again because I don't know it off the top of my head. Alex Newhook.
Him scoring in 2 Game 7s was just
15,
jumped out to me.
Number 15, so higher than 15.
Okay.
Ooh, we're not. Both our last guests have been lower than the range.
Right, now it's back on me, huh?
Yeah.
Remember, it's higher than 19.
Higher than 19, lower than 88, right? And he's a Montreal Canadian.
Yes.
I think I got it now.
I might have it now too.
Oh, that just
I can't
makes
remember
me
the number.
so
The number
confident.
thing has thrown me off because I can't remember if they're in
Thanks,
that range.
guys. Really boosted my ego.
You got this, Steve. I believe in you.
I just hopefully you watch the whole series with him against the Hurricanes. But see, I have a player in mind, but again, it's I don't know if he's a center or if he's a winger.
It's just, you could throw out the name. Totally
I
fine.
already threw out a different position too, but
Yeah.
it worked.
It's fine with the
I just don't. I also don't remember his first. Is it Zach Bolduc? Is that his name? Zachary Bolduc? Or am I on the wrong team?
He's saying Zach Bolduc.
Yeah. Isn't he? Was he 72, 62?
Well,
clearly he's not right.
Team, not the right player.
Great.
76, yeah. Lower than 76. That was a good guess.
All right. I'm stuck between 2, but I'm gonna go with my gut right here, and I'm gonna say Slavkovsky.
That is correct. Juraj Slavkovsky, number 20.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, it's higher than 19. It's 20. I know that.
Very close with the 19 there. Slovakian legend, did very well in the Olympics, is what I was going to say for a hint.
Yeah.
As well as he was also in the playoffs, so that was kind of the theme there. All right.
That's a tough look.
Yeah, I was going
That's
to
a
remember
tough
Demidov, but I couldn't really.
Dude,
pick
I
between
really
the two.
just named Zach Bolduc over an Olympic gold medalist, bro. That is a tough one.
bronze medalist, but still, it's an Olympic medal.
Or bronze medal, not gold medal. You're right.
But yeah, no, he's it was the first one that I thought of, to be honest. I was like, yeah, he had a really good playoff at Montreal, and he's really been stepping up for the Canadians. But just since we're short on time, I'm going to jump right into the World Cup. Jonah, I'm going to give you 3 points for that. Good job.
Thank you.
We're going to go right to the World Cup. Keep it simple in terms of the categories. I literally just thought of group, country, position, and their number, if you could think of it. But I will give you hints for this because this is going to be very tough to get.
Okay.
I think.
Tough to narrow this one down.
I'm not sure your hints are going to help me.
I can be pretty honest.
I might be naming people that don't even play soccer anymore.
Jonah,
David Beckham?
No, I know he's done.
I don't know. I kind of want to go with a super popular player just to kind of feel for it, but I'll do someone who just made history for France. Is now the all-time goal scorer. I'm gonna go Kylian Mbappe.
Okay, Kylian Mbappe. Wrong country. I believe it is the wrong group as well. I just got to go back to. Oh no, I'm sorry. Right group. It's the right group. You got the group right. Group I.
Oh.
Wrong player. And let's see. Mbappe is a. Is he no, he's a forward. Okay, wrong position.
Okay. I just gotta remember who's in that group.
There are 3 other countries to choose from.
Well, that's helpful.
Dog, I don't got a clue who the other countries are.
I could give you the countries. Just as.
Let's go.
I mean, I think I got it now.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
What do you got?
Okay.
My bad.
Can I guess or?
Yes,
I
you
mean,
can guess.
Steve.
Yeah, it's your turn.
All right. He scored 2 goals on Tuesday. My guess would be Erling Haaland.
That is correct.
Oh
That's
my
actually what I was gonna
god.
guess,
Striker.
I swear.
I was thinking
actually was
about
gonna
guessing
guess
Holland,
him.
but I was like, I'm gonna go France just to see if Joe was gonna go that way. Damn, I should have gone with my gut.
Oh, but that was
a
the
good
one
first
player
guess
I
'cause it
knew.
narrows the group down. So
Yeah,
That was the one player I knew.
I guess
honestly.
Mbappe was a good swing for it, but
Yeah.
that was the only other like big name player in that group, really. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna even go Messi too,
well,
just
not,
because of what
not
he
on
did the other
France,
day. But
not on France. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
I was
I'm
thinking,
not- Holland was
I was thinking
actually-
Holland, Messi, or Mbappe, or even Ronaldo. Those were the four I was going with.
I was like, I don't want to go with a super obvious one, but I also don't want to go with a very obscure player that no one's ever
Yeah.
heard of. So
No, that
Matt
was
Turner.
I went with Holland.
I'll be honest. If I went first, I was sniping that first try. Because if it wasn't him, I have no idea.
Wow. Yeah.
I
Should've
got
went to you
nothing.
first,
Just
then.
go Messi, play it safe.
Yeah, that's what I was
No,
going.
that's
Could've
just
been
too
Holland, too.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Messi did get a hat trick, but that's too obvious.
Mbappe is a good first guess.
Yes.
No, I
Yeah.
like that.
Good guess.
But I was
Yeah,
like,
no, I like
dead
that.
split between either him, Ronaldo, or Messi, and or even Kylian. I was like, first I wanted to say Holland, but I was like, I don't want to be too like maybe the best player in the world, but I was like, Mbappe, he's one up there too. But great job, Colin. Great job.
Yeah.
Wait, I just been watching the World Cup like all the time, and you get to know the group a little bit more.
But
I just all the
Norway's
games
pretty
have been
cool,
awesome.
too.
Like it's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm catching the fever.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am catching it too.
And
It's
I am
honestly awesome.
I am so excited to watch the U.S. play again. I always said last week for that first game against Paraguay. Now that we've seen them like 4-1 domination, I'm buying in. I think this gonna be a fun ride for this U.S. team.
100%.
I'm wearing USA colors to broadcasting on Friday. I'm gonna be repping.
Nice.
We got World
Nice.
Cup night at the Lake Monsters, so we're gonna be ripping it.
There you go.
3:00, perfect start time.
Perfect.
Right into Scotland. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a beautiful day on
Nice.
Friday.
Those are my plans for the day. But anyway, with getting that right, Colin, you are the winner of this episode. Congratulations.
Nice.
You will be hosting next week. Do you have a victory speech that you would like to share with us real quick?
No, I didn't prepare one. I'm still mad I didn't get the hockey one, just because. I mean, Slavkovsky had such a good run in the Olympics and the playoffs. So that was a great call by you, Jonah. I just thought maybe I forgot Newhook's number, but I thought scoring the 2 Game 7 goals, I thought that he might be the Canadian. But no, that was a fun episode as always, guys. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for the World Cup. Sad that hockey and basketball are over, but glad that we have the World Cup to tide us over for a little bit here.
100%. Well said.
And college
Thank you,
baseball
Colin.
for a little bit.
College World
yes.
Series too.
College
Can't forget
World
about that.
Series,
True.
which,
Haven't
I
been
think-
watching that as much, unfortunately, but
a lot's been
it's-
happening for sure.
Yeah.
There's so much jam-packed like sports in this month.
But
like,
once the
it's
finals
crazy.
start, though, it's gonna be electric, though.
Oh,
Omaha
best
is
of
just
3.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Looks like UNC
And
is
I've
gonna
been
be
to
there.
I've been to Omaha twice, and that's probably the coolest sporting event I've been to. I mean, it is just awesome. Fans from all over the country. You got the LSU fans when they're there buying all the Jello shots at Rocco's, drinking that place dry. Anyone from the South, they're getting there to Omaha, and they're having a great time. But it's an amazing ballpark, great atmosphere, and I know the fans are having such a great time over there in Omaha. And excited to watch the final. It looks like North Carolina is probably going to win it,
Yeah,
but excited to see whoever they're going to play, Georgia or Oklahoma.
it's the only national championship UNC hasn't won.
Really?
True,
Yeah,
Good point.
true.
And they're in the driver's seat for it, but
They are.
Oklahoma's also on a heater, but then can't count out Georgia. They just got a ton
Georgia.
of power.
Georgia
They're
just
fun to
lacks
watch.
pitching though. That's the problem. They just
Yeah.
like they
Dude,
win
they got
all
the
their
Rhino
games
though.
like
The Rhino's
12-9.
been cooking.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no, Georgia can match. They can hit the ball.
They
out
can
of
hit the ball
yard.
so well, but if you're gonna allow
against
10
Mississippi
runs-
State, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was tough.
game 1 in
One.
the Supers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
fun
just
to see.
incredible.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
The ball was
Unbelievable.
flying. But
Yeah.
their pitching is probably going to hurt them. But
It is.
hopefully there's some high scoring, entertaining games in the final. Whoever we see.
For sure. Well said, everybody. Thank you so much for an amazing episode, and thank you for listening and watching to this episode of the Press Box Quartet. Do not forget, we're on Instagram, PressBox_Quartet, all lowercase. I believe I got that right, Colin. I think I did.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I
That's the
believe I did.
tag.
That's a tag. Please follow us. We'll be posting our episodes there and more content to come. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And Colin will be your host next week for episode 4. So we'll see you then next time. Goodbye.